Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to continue to have a look at the latest on the current heat wave that is gripping the British Isles at the moment. Temperatures today are soaring into the low 30s, and there's a decent chance come around 3-4 p.m. this afternoon, as this video is coming out, we do break our sort of year record or summer record so far, which is 32.7 degrees back in June, likely to be the hottest day of the year today, if not tomorrow as well, with those temperatures, as I said, getting to around that 32-33 degree mark in many areas through central England. Temperatures are likely to dip slightly through Wednesday into Saturday, but still very warm in the south and the southeast, continuing in the mid to high 20s, still at those heatwave thresholds, before we continue to see it looking very likely through Sunday, Monday and Tuesday next week. It could be exceptionally hot. Temperatures perhaps reaching our all-time temperature record, and 40 degrees is still on the cards. The Met Office have formally today issued an amber heat warning for Sunday. We're 7 days ahead, so that is very unlike the Met Office for issuing a weather warning that far in advance. So it just shows you how seriously they are now taking this. Of course, Met Office are not normally that bullish with these sort of things, at least more than 5 days out, but there is a lot of certainty now that it is going to be turning incredibly hot, and it's likely that amber warning does extend through Monday and Tuesday. Once we get within 7 days of that, we could even see an upgrade to a red warning, danger to life warning for heat, perhaps over the coming days. So remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, for new starts on the live radar, you can see there are a few showers around across Northern Ireland, heading into western parts of Scotland, as low pressure is riding around the high, which is centred more towards the southwest and southern parts of England. So these areas seeing a bit more cloud introduced, but it is riding around the high pressure and is not going to make much inroads. The big thing today is the temperatures. Now I'm calling this around 2:30, and you can see these widespread dark reds, which is temperatures into the low 30s. You can see dark reds getting above that 27 degree threshold, getting towards the 30s, 31, 32 degrees, and officially observations today are around 31, 32 degrees around 1 p.m, because it's always about an hour delay for observation. So around 4-5 p.m. this evening, or later this afternoon, we'll be able to tell exactly how high it does get. But I do guess it will be around that 32, 33, maybe slightly higher in a few spots, maybe around that Cambridge area into the London area. That sort of area there is normally our bullseye position for homegrown heat like this. But it is widely very warm, if not hot, with areas widely reaching heat wave thresholds. That is, as I said, going to continue into tomorrow before it does cool down from the north and west on Wednesday. Still, the south and the southeast could still reach 30 degrees for Thursday. Friday looks like it's going to be much cooler for all, back towards mid-20s, widely maybe 26, 27 is possible in the far south, southeast, holding on to slightly warmer air. For Saturday, those temperatures start to rise again, back toward the high 20s, maybe 30 degrees, similar to conditions we saw yesterday, before it ramps up through Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, with the temperatures likely now to be in the mid to high 30s. That is the most likely temperature now. So if we do have a look at that amber warning, extreme heat warning, it is very rare to see the Met Office put a warning further than maybe 3 or 4 days out. This is 7 days away, and we would see this for Monday and Tuesday, but it's because the Met Office only actually has this page up for 7 days ahead. So you can see from Sunday, or Saturday midnight until Sunday midnight, some exceptionally high temperatures are possible during Sunday and could lead to widespread impacts on people and infrastructure. What to expect? Population-wide adverse health effects are likely to be experienced, not limited to those most vulnerable to extreme heat, leading to potential serious illness or danger to life. So yeah, pretty severe. Government advice is that 999 services should be used in emergency only. Seek advice from 111 if you need non-emergency health advice. There will be substantial changes in working practices and daily routines likely to be required. Significantly more people are likely to visit coastal areas, lakes and rivers, leading to increased risk of water safety incidents. Because of course, with these warnings, the Met Office not only take into account the actual weather, but take into the impacts and the human response to the weather. So it being very hot, more people are likely to go into the water, likely to be more water incidents, more drowning potential, and more danger out in rivers, lakes and sea. So we also have to take into their impact as well, and there likely will be delays on roads, and road closures are possible, along with delays and cancellations to rail and air travel, with potential for significant welfare issues for those who experience even moderate delays. So you can see the further details. Temperatures will build again later this week and over the coming weekend, likely peaking on Sunday and Monday. Some exceptionally high temperatures are possible, and cumulative effects of warm nights, which are likely to not drop below 20 degrees in quite a few areas through the next couple of days and into the weekend. And hot days are expected to bring widespread impacts to people and infrastructure. This period of hot weather is expected to continue into the early part of next week, and an update, as I said, extending the warning into Monday is likely. Now you can see it is the highest impact, and it's not, and it's on almost the highest likelihood. If this increasing likelihood, which most likely will later this week, we will see a red warning put in force for this. So if we see the current model output continue over the next sort of 2 to 4 days, I do suspect by Thursday, Friday time, we could see a red warning put in force in a few areas here. Most likely through central, southern England into East Anglia. That's the most likely area, and into the southeast as well. That's the most likely area I think will be the highest temperatures, so we have to keep an eye on a red warning for that, and this is being extended into Monday and perhaps Tuesday as well. So extreme heat, and you can see it covers most of England and quite a bit of eastern area of Wales. Even outside this warning area, it's still likely to be very hot, still likely to be heat wave, but not those mid to high 30s that warrants this sort of warning. And as I said, at the moment, the only reason why it's an amber and not a red is because of likelihood, not because of the suspected impacts. So I'm going to have to really keep an eye on this over the next couple of days. Now, if we do have a look at the UK Met Office run, look at the precipitation temperature over the next 5 days. Now, of course, this doesn't cover the weekend yet, only goes out to Friday. So we'll be able to see the heat over the next couple of days and the cool down through Wednesday into Friday. And then, as I said, probably by Wednesday time this week, we'll be able to see those temperatures through Saturday, Sunday, Monday in a lot more detail. So if we do have a look, you can see there is minimal precipitation, a bit moving round the higher pressure just to our north and our east, and it's trying to push in but not making much inroads. It is associated with cooler air riding round the higher pressure, which is dropping southwards through Tuesday, introducing cooler air and maybe some thicker cloud. And that is that cooler Atlantic air that's giving us our slightly cooler weather later this working week. It does spread through all areas, and Wednesday is going to be slightly cooler for northern areas, still very hot in the south and southeast, but cooling down. And by Thursday, all areas are in slightly fresher air. And you can see a few showers across northern England and Scotland perhaps. A bit of a weather front actually moves through on Friday, so there could be some persistent moderate rainfall there. Does look like it will fall overnight, and by Friday afternoon things are a lot drier. Some patchy rain and some thicker cloud for some, before things start to dry up once more. You look at the pressure, high pressure is starting to build back in, and we'll be moving to our east, allowing the intense air mass just to our south. You can see the 19 and 20 degree isotherm just to our southwest. That is starting to head our way for Sunday. Now, if you have a look at the max temperatures, you can see today temperatures widely in the high 20s, low 30s, perhaps 31, 32 degrees, and I said 33, maybe into the mid 33 degree range is very possible, and I said that would break our temperature, highest temperature of the year so far of 32.7 degrees, but widely mid to high 20s. Most areas reaching those heatwave thresholds, every country reaching the heatwave thresholds. You can see Scotland 25 degrees, Northern Ireland getting towards that 24, 25 degrees, and Wales getting above 25 degrees, and widely across England 25 to 30 degrees, and through the central areas, East Anglia, South East England getting towards 31 to 32 widely. Now, as we head towards tomorrow, it's still very warm, if not hot, but again, as we saw in the precipitation charts, there's a bit more cloud around, so possible it still gets to that 30 to 32 degree range, will very likely still reach 30 degrees, and widely mid to high 20s, but it just depends on cloud amounts and how much sunshine we get through. If there's thicker cloud, hold those temperatures down by a couple of degrees. If we don't see as much cloud, it will rise into the low 30s again, so a little bit of uncertainty on the exact temperatures, but it's still going to be pretty oppressively hot tomorrow, quite widely, as overnight temperatures are unlikely to drop much below 18 to 20 degrees. As we head through to Wednesday, Still a warm day, but slightly cooler in from the north, perhaps more towards 20 to 25 degrees through northern areas and western areas. Still through central, southern and southeastern areas, it's a couple of degrees cooler, max temperatures around that 27, 28 degree range, but it is still very warm, if not hot. Thursday, it does look like widely it will be cooler. Temperatures again widely around that 20 to 25 degree range, maybe peaking around 26 to 28 in the south and southeast. So if you are in the south and southeast, you might not get much respite from this cooler Atlantic flow that is coming in. Northern areas are going to be getting back towards the high teens, low 20s, which is much more pleasant than the mid to high 20s that we have at the moment. But for southern areas, most likely will not see much respite, and through Friday, perhaps again starting to ramp up back towards 27, 28 in the south, around 20 to 25 degrees through the Midlands, and around 18 to 20 degrees elsewhere. And as we head into Saturday, most likely temperatures will start to rise towards that 30 degree mark. So as I said, areas in the south, southeast are not going to see much respite from this hot conditions. It's going to get slightly cooler, but only maybe by 3 or 4 degrees. Elsewhere, substantially cooler back towards the high teens, low 20s, which is more inclined towards average. Still slightly above average for northern areas, but much closer to average, much more sort of less oppressive, really, much more tolerable. So if we do now have a look at what the operational models are showing today, and now we have had a bit of uncertainty, especially from runs like the GM, exactly how hot it gets. All runs today are on board with an incredibly hot air mass moving in. The thing that we've got to keep an eye on is timings and exact upper air temperatures. It's looking highly likely we get towards 20 degrees at 850 HPA, but do we get towards 25 degrees? That will make a difference between whether it's mid 30s, 35, 36 degrees, or whether it's 39, 40 degrees. So it's going to be oppressively hot, but how oppressively hot is what we've got to determine now. And of course, what time of day those peak upper air temperatures arrive will decide that. If we do get the 25 degree isotherm in at midnight, it's not going to make much difference because it probably will be swept away within 12 hours. It's very difficult to sustain that sort of hot upper air conditions in the UK, especially as this is a plume, it's not sort of a sustained air mass. Whereas if we saw that arrive around midday to 3 p.m, that would allow temperatures to get towards that 40 degree mark. So if you do run through, you see high pressure dominating at the moment, low pressure running in through the north, that's giving a bit of precipitation and cooler air through Wednesday into Friday. Before high pressure builds back in, you see it slide to our east, and that flow comes in from the south. We'll have a look at those upper air masses again in a minute. It does look like today has delayed those peak upper air temperatures slightly towards Monday. So Sunday, as I said, Sunday is definitely going to look very hot, but it could perhaps be sort of preceding a hotter day, perhaps on Monday. So perhaps 17th and 19th is what we've got to really watch out for. And beyond that, low pressure does run in through perhaps Tuesday into Wednesday. Again, uncertainty with the exact timings of that, but that most likely will feature some very heavy rain and quite a major thundery breakdown. Again, don't want to look at it in too much detail, as it is sort of 8-9 days away, and there is a lot of uncertainty exactly with how that does play out. Beyond that, we do go into more Atlantic flow from the GFS, and it's much cooler, more towards average, maybe even a bit unsettled for the last 10 days. So kind of opposite to what we have now, where it's very dry, very warm. It'd be still decent, but it'd be much cooler than it is now, and it would be much more showery with a lot of heavy showers and thunderstorms around. Now if you run it back and have a look at those upper air temperatures, you can see at the moment it is incredibly warm, around 15 degrees at 850 HPA. That does get very quickly swept away through Wednesday into Friday, but it's just lingering just to our south before the very hot air arrives through early hours of Sunday, peaking around Sunday evening into Monday evening. That sort of 24-hour period, widespread 20 degree isotherm engulfs all of England, all of Wales, quite a lot of Ireland as well. And you get the temperature deviation insane, 12 degrees above average for a massive widespread area, hottest area on this map. If you actually look at that in terms of upper air temperatures, it's one of the hottest areas on the map, both in terms of temperature deviation and just in absolute temperatures as well. Really only hotter probably towards North Africa and towards parts of southwestern Asia as well, towards sort of Saudi Arabia, Dubai. Those sort of areas are going to be slightly hotter, but we are going to be some of the hottest conditions in this whole map that we're seeing here. Now, if we move beyond that, you see the hot air does get swept away, as I said, and by Wednesday time, it's much cooler, probably thundery as well. Some warmer air mass as possible, another plume there, potentially 23rd to 24th, but being swept away very quickly. We're into more Atlantic flow. Now, if we run it back and have a look at the United Kingdom, we have a look at how those peak upper air temperatures, what those peak upper air temperatures get to. If we do run to Sunday, you can see the 20-degree isoform comfortably moves in. And as we head through Monday afternoon, we see the 22-degree isoform move in, the 24, and even the 25-degree isoform temporarily is through overnight Monday into Tuesday. Incredibly hot, and Tuesday here would be a very hot day as well. 24, 25-degree isoform move in. Now, if you run it back and have a look at those 2 meter temperatures from this GFS run, again, they're not going to be the most accurate, but a rough idea. You can see Saturday, most likely peaking around 30 degrees. Remember, these temperatures will probably underdo it by a degree or two on the peak, but probably get the widespread temperature right. So mid to high 20s widely, peaking around 30 degrees. As we head into Sunday, those temperatures are already 30 degrees at midday, and by 3 p.m. widely low 30s, probably peaking mid 30s, so 34 to 36 degree peak. As we head through to Monday, it could be even hotter, low 30s by 9 a.m. That's ridiculous. And by 3 p.m, mid to high 30s widely, probably peaking 39, 40, maybe 41 degrees. That would break our all-time temperature record. It would smash it in many areas. We most likely would see temperature records perhaps in Wales and the Republic of Ireland as well. Beyond that, as we head into Tuesday, uncertainty here because it most likely again is going to be very hot. You can see 39 to 41 degrees through East Anglia, but it is turning much cooler from the southwest and west as Atlantic air is sweeping in. So it could be some big temperature contrast, and it could break down massively with some thundery weather, because you see by Wednesday afternoon 15 degrees, so almost a 25-degree temperature drop through Tuesday into Wednesday because of that thundery breakdown. So we have to keep an eye on that. Now, if we do have a look at what the GEM is showing, again, high pressure in control at the moment, moving in, and we start to see that southerly plume through Sunday and Monday. Now, if we have a look at the upper air temperatures, you can see that 20-degree isoform does get hit, but it's more inclined around Tuesday time. Sunday isn't quite as warm, and it's more in terms of Monday into Tuesday. We see those peak temperatures getting swept away in a thundery breakdown. Now, if we have a look at the United Kingdom, look at those 2 meter temperatures and move it to 3-hour intervals, you can see Sunday those temperatures peaking only around probably low 30s, 31 to 32 degrees probably there. And as we head into Monday, temperatures peaking probably around mid 30s, 34, maybe 35 degrees. Again, we can't have a look at the 3 p.m. temperature, only the midday and the 6 p.m. temperature, which most likely will be a couple degrees off the max. So as I said, 34, 35 degrees most likely the max there. As we head into Tuesday, again, widely mid-30s, probably again 34 to 35 degrees, maybe 36 degrees. So GEM, very hot today, but not quite record-breaking heat. Still oppressive, still dangerous, but not quite record-breaking today from the GEM. If you have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare. Again, high pressure in control. Moving to our east, starting to pull up a southerly flow in around a week's time. Incredibly hot conditions before we see that low pressure run in, a bit of a thundery breakdown. Again, if we have a look at those upper air temperatures, incredibly hot air mass does move in. It does just sit to our south though, and the hottest actually comes through on Tuesday ahead of the low pressure. So that could be a major thundery breakdown, massive thunderstorms with that. But because it's massive thunderstorms associated with the hottest air, because it's being moved in closer with the low pressure, it might not actually be that hot. So that's why there is uncertainty, even though the upper air temperatures look pretty much bang on to be almost record breaking. If we do look at those 2 meter temperatures at the surface, you can see through Sunday afternoon, widely pretty mid-30s, 34, 35 degrees. You can see here widely 31, 32. Again, not at the peak of the day. And again, these will underdo it by a degree or two. So probably 34, 35 degrees for the peak. As we head into Monday, slightly cooler, maybe low 30s, 31, 32, 33, as we don't have that quite, not as hot upper airs. It's just sitting to our south. You can see 35, 36 across northern France. And as we head into Tuesday, we do have incredibly hot upper air masses, so still 29 to 31 degrees, perhaps getting up towards 32, 33, but it's associated with a massive thundery breakdown. We put on the upper air temperatures. You can see incredibly hot air mass, but much cooler air getting swept in behind it through early hours of Wednesday. So uncertainty here with exact surface conditions, but it's pretty much bang on now. We're seeing an incredibly hot air mass move in. Now, after you finish the video, have a look at the ensembles. You can see very warm over the next couple of days, dropping back towards maybe slightly below average for around Thursday and Friday, for rising again into Saturday and substantially rising through Sunday into Tuesday. Well above average, 10 to 15 degrees above average, incredibly hot. You can see majority of the runs are now high teens, low 20s at 850 HPA, which is representative of mid to high 30s at the surface. Incredibly hot. The ECMWF are even more clustered together. They're even more short of this hotter weather. Does have quite a different breakdown from different runs, some going much faster, some going much slower, and it does look like it will generally be around slightly above average from around the 21st, 22nd of July onwards. It does look like there will be respite. It doesn't look like this is going to last much more than maybe the next 7 to 9 days. By sort of a week on Wednesday, it's most likely to be much cooler. That is one good thing, but it is around 7, 8, 9 days time, unfortunately. If you do look at the 2 meter temperatures from this GFS Ensemble run, you can see it's forecasting around 30 degrees today, so a couple degrees below near in reality, and that's what we have to always take into account. So if you look at next Monday, it's showing again widely 29, 30 degrees, but it's got a lot of cooler outliers. So you take out a couple of those cooler outliers, and suddenly the average is around 31, 32 degrees. You add on a couple degrees because it's ensembles, and suddenly the average realistically is around 34, 35, and again, it's most likely to be a couple degrees hotter in peak areas, and it's like that through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Incredibly hot. If we have a look at the ECMWF ensemble, see what they're showing from the midnight run. As I said, they're even more clustered for around a week's time. All of them really around that 15 plus degree mark, majority around that 20 to 25 degree, but the average ensemble members at a week lead time is 20 degrees at 850 HPA. That is unprecedented for the average of the ensembles. Incredibly hot. And you can see the upper air masses at the moment that are giving low 30s. Just think when we add on another 5 degrees to that, that's why it's highly likely we get mid to high 30s, maybe 40 degrees. And again, if we have a look at those 2 meter temperatures for next Sunday into Tuesday from the ECMWF ensembles, you can see Sunday widely from the ensemble members around 30 to 33, 34 degrees. Again, a couple cooler runs there, and again, these are at 1 p.m. they're not at 3 p.m. so most likely we'd be seeing temperatures from this ensemble run widely around that 35, 36 degree range, as at widely, and peaking a couple degrees higher than that. Monday's even hotter, and that's where you could see 40 degrees, and then Tuesday there's more uncertainty just because of how quickly the cooler air does sweep in. Some back down to 20 degrees, others still towards 40 degrees. So quite a lot of uncertainty for Tuesday. But regardless, it still looks incredibly hot through Sunday to Tuesday. We now have an amber extreme heat warning in from the Met Office. So please do take it seriously. And I have been seeing some comments saying their weather app is only showing 30 degrees. Weather apps have a lot of a lag time. They are moderated significantly to not because they're done automatically. So they are moderated by computers to make sure they don't swing too much on each individual model run. But trust me, over the next couple days, you'll see your weather apps start to increase those temperatures, and I'd say by Wednesday, Thursday time, if this model output continues, we most likely will be seeing those showing at least 35, 36 degrees, and again, they do underdo the peak, which most likely will be a couple of degrees hotter than that. Already, my weather apps, I have a look at the Weather Channel for where I am in London, it's forecasting 34 degrees now for Sunday. A couple of days ago, it was only showing 28, 29. So they are warming up. The Met Office apps I'm now seeing showing low 30s. And again, most likely will be even hotter than that. So weather apps are not the best in sort of week ahead lead times. A couple of days, fair play. But a week, they're not the best. So please do take my word on this. And do, of course, heed the Met Office warning 7-day lead time for extreme heat that most likely will be extended and perhaps upgraded to a red danger to life warning. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.